Greetings, pilgrim. As you climb the 7,000 steps, you would notice the 10 emblems standing proud under the mountain. These emblems tell many stories, but the one of which I speak today is that of Jurgen Windcaller, a warlord turned to a founder. It is the tale of the gift of the Thu'um, bestowed by Cain herself. A tale in which all warriors seeking strength, the wise seeking wisdom, and the lost seeking purpose can learn from. Decades ago, when I once walked the halls of High Hrothgar, I believed strength answered every question. I believed wisdom would come when my voice was strong enough, my will unbroken, and my understanding complete. My brothers, however, answered me with a book, a story of a man whose strength had failed, and whose failure would give birth to the way. His name was Jurgen Windcaller. In those ancient days, the voice was not confined to monasteries, or spoken only in worship. The greatest Nordic warriors were known as the Tongues, and they carried the Thu'um into battle. Their words could stagger warriors, shatter defenses, and turn the course of war. To command such power was considered proof of divine favor. Jurgen was counted among the greatest of them, a war leader, a master of the voice, and a man whose strength few would have questioned. Then came Red Mountain. The surviving accounts disagree upon much of what happened there. History remembers conflicting armies, broken alliances, and powers which even now remain poorly understood. Yet among those who follow the way, one truth is remembered clearly. The Nordic Tongues went to Red Mountain, confident in their strength, and returned humbled. Their voices had not delivered victory. Their warriors lay dead, their ambitions broken, and their enemies remained unconquered. Some blamed sorcery, others treachery, fate, or the absence of the gods. Jurgen, however, asked a more dangerous question. If the voice was a sacred gift of Cain, why had it failed those who wielded it? He withdrew from the quarrels of warriors and entered a 7-year meditation. 7 years spent contemplating a single defeat. In time, Jurgen came to believe that the voice had not failed them. They had failed the voice. The Thu'um had been given for the worship and glory of the gods, not to satisfy the ambitions of kings, conquerors, or warlords. Its holiness was not measured by how many enemies it could cast down, but by the discipline of the one who carried it. And thus, my friends, began the way of the voice. Many of the old tongues rejected Jurgen's teachings. To them, restraint appeared to be cowardice. They believed he had transformed defeat into doctrine because he could no longer endure the shame of it. 17 of them came to challenge him, and they cast their voices against Jurgen, but he endured every word without answering. He swallowed their shouts until each challenger had exhausted themselves. Only then did Jurgen speak. With a single utterance, he cast them to the ground. yet he did not destroy them. Jurgen possessed the strength to silence his enemies, but chose instead to allow them to rise. And so you see, my friends, those who had come to defeat him became his disciples. Upon the slopes of the throat of the world, his teachings took root. High Hrothgar became their home, and those who followed his discipline became known as the Greybeards. When I first read this story within those halls, I believed it was merely a warning against pride, though my friends, age has taught me otherwise. Jurgen's defeat was not the end of his purpose, it was the beginning of it. Had he returned from Red Mountain victorious, perhaps he would have remained only another powerful tongue, praised in his lifetime, but eventually forgotten. Instead, he possessed the courage to question everything he had once believed. For the mountain does not demand that we never fall. It asks what we become after we have fallen. Many climb these steps, believing strength means forcing the world to hear them. Jurgen Windcaller discovered the true strength sometimes lies in remaining silent long enough to hear what the world is trying to teach. And that was his victory, not at Red Mountain, but over himself.